Deadly illness is raising alarms after several people have gotten sick aboard a luxury cruise ship in the Atlantic. So far, at least 3 people have died and 2 people are confirmed to have Hantavirus, with 5 more suspected cases. The World Health Organization says it believes it's a rare strain of the disease that is passing between people.
We do believe that there may be some human-to-human transmission that's happening among the really close contacts, the husband and wife, people who've shared cabins, etc. So again, our assumption is that has happened.
Now is 9 News health expert Dr. Payal Kohli, and I guess we need to start with, there are 2 things. First, talk to us about exactly what we know about hantavirus and why is it so rare that it would be transmitted between humans.
So hantavirus is not a new virus. We've had it around for a long time, but generally it's pretty rare. And we've seen, of course, cases in the United States, but it's a systemic illness that tends to cause pulmonary symptoms. And once it gets into your lungs, it can be fatal. In fact, the mortality rate can be 30 to 40% once it gets into your lungs. And the way that it normally spreads is if you're in close contact with mice or rodents and their droppings, their urine or their saliva, you inhale that into your lungs, it gets into your system, it replicates, and then it can cause that systemic illness. So what we're seeing here, this human-to-human transmission, it's been described, but it's incredibly rare. So it's up to the WHO now to figure out, is this a new strain of the virus, or is this an older strain just behaving unusually?
Yeah, you've never heard of it, but shared between people. I mean, I remember cases in Colorado, more in rural areas, again, field mice and things like that. So how does something like this get on a cruise ship?
This is what they have to figure out. And this is really, really hard because the incubation period, how long you can be infected with the virus before showing symptoms, can be over 30 days. The median is about 18 days. So almost 3 weeks. So someone could have gotten infected and then walked the virus onto the ship and is now spreading human to human. It could also be that there are rats or mice on the ship and droppings are around and multiple people are getting infected directly from those droppings, especially if somebody who works in a kitchen or somebody who has more contact with other people, especially if it's spreading human to human. So they really need to figure out new strain or not. They need to figure out human to human transmission or not. And then they need to find patient 0, who's that first person that got the virus, because it's behaving very unusually. We do not see hantavirus outbreaks because it doesn't spread like this. Now, when it has spread like this, if you look at household contacts, only about 20% of household contacts get sick. So it's not nearly as contagious as some of the viruses that we're used to seeing.
There are a lot of things that are scary about this. What you just laid out, the fact that there's no vaccine, there's no real cure. You just have to catch it early and then bring people along. I saw on CNN yesterday they played a video from a passenger. A guy from Boston who was saying he was in tears, and he was like, we're not just a headline. This is happening on board this ship. People are dying. People are sick. We're terrified. How is WHO going to deal with this? Where is this ship going to go next? Is it going to dock? Do they airlift people off? What happens?
I have all the same questions, Phil, because if somebody gets sick and it gets into their lungs, we need to put them in the intensive care unit. We need to give them potentially artificial lung support, definitely oxygen. We may need to treat them for shock with vasopressors or IV medication. So they definitely all need to be close to a hospital, especially if it's spreading human to human. But because of that long tail, that long incubation period, how long are they going to watch these people before they allow them to come back? And when they come back, will they quarantine them? So I think as soon as they figure out human to human transmission or not, that will help us to answer the question. Because if they find mice or rats on the ship, and that's where people are getting infected, then we can safely get the ship to dock and get everybody to get off. But if it's spreading from person to person, then they may need to do what's called PCR testing, checking blood tests to see who's positive but not yet showing symptoms, and then decide who to quarantine or isolate.
In the meantime, they're just out there, and I think of the fact it's a respiratory thing that just sounds awful to think people have died.
Well, it's awful. Your lungs fill up with fluid, they get flooded, you can't breathe, you can go into shock very quickly. And they tried something called ribavirin, which is an antiviral that has been used in parts of the world, but the WHO has said it's not shown any efficacy, so they're really not recommending it. So we wish them the best, and I do hope that it resolves really quickly, but it's a very unusual case, certainly gotten the attention of lots of infectious disease experts.
Thank you, Dr. Kohli. We'll keep our eye on it.